Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Ethereum, Solana and injective price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with Ethereum on the 2 hour chart where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1 potentially finished, ABC for a wave 2, continuation impulsively toward the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another wave 1 potentially here. And of course, we would like to see at least a 0.38 taken from the start of this impulse till the end of it to give us, of course, a wave 2 around the 0.38, 0.5 level. Currently, we don't see, of course, any kind of weakness for for Ethereum to move downward somehow. And that, of course, after having a potential ABC here, the wave C is kind of like 5 waves down, where we saw it, of course, failing to take the low. And that because, of course, this is definitely a finished impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, this structure is, of course, separated from this impulse. And in this case scenario, we have to consider, of course, an ABC here, potentially a running flat, which is an indication for higher prices. However, we saw this a little bit, of course, of higher prices in the beginning, and we saw some range unfolding here for Ethereum. But we see, of course, still weakness as well to move for higher. And that because we, of course, still need to take this low normally. Because you finished already a 5 waves up here. And forcing the market to move higher might sometimes ends up with a failure as well. And if this is gonna be the failure that is gonna bring back, of course, the chart to its place where it should be, so this might be happening right now, meaning potentially you can be here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of course, after having an ABC expanding or running flat, let's call it. It's gonna be the wave W. You got a wave X here, and you might get, of course, kind of like a zigzag to bring us back to the right place on the chart. And that means, of course, a W, X, I would say X and a Y, or maybe the X finished here because we didn't took the high, by the way. And this might be an impulse over there. So we gotta be careful. You got a 3 waves up, not hitting the 886 even, but the 0.786 and dropping down. Meaning very likely that you move, of course, in a wave C here, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that will finish, of course, an A, B, and a C here for a wave Y, potentially, of course, in the perfect fib levels. In confluence, in case, of course, you should have here as confluence ABC normally, but this is not the case, yeah, because we couldn't reach 5 waves down, yeah. It ends up even failing to take the low. And that means, of course, it's going to turn it into W, and X and a wave Y is going to bring us back to this area. In potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or A, B, and a C, the wave C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to hit minimum target 0.38. So what I'm expecting for Ethereum is to move, of course, for lower prices still. Unless, of course, we see some new weakness here regarding, of course, the drop. And then we see, of course, strength toward the upside. And that means this is going to transform somehow to something bullish again by just simply taking the low and showing another new impulse toward the upside. Meaning simply taking the low can be the possibility here for again bullish. So you gotta be careful even with it. Yeah, it's not very sure here that you're gonna drop down. Why? Because if it's gonna show power again, or simply by taking this low, for example, it might extend the wave 5 toward the upside. And that means extending the wave 5 toward the upside, that will make it, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a wave 5 extended in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yep, so therefore, I don't see any bullish signal toward the upside for Ethereum. I see, of course, simply a low, a new low is very, very needed here. And especially this low has to be taken, which is, of course, around the 4K here. And once taking this, okay, you can start to expect probably you might move for higher even without reaching the area. But preferably to reach the area and move, of course, as a wave 2 here in a massive explosive wave 3 towards the upside. That it regarding Ethereum. Let's move for Solana. So for Solana, we are also on the 2-hour chart here in 1-2. Potentially another 1-2, failing to take, of course, the low again, which is the minimum requirement for wave 2. Meaning, after this leading diagonal, failing to take the wave 2 has to transform in several 1-2s, which is a little bit very low possibility, but at the end, the market is showing higher lows, higher highs, right? And we're moving even for higher. And guess what? We took, of course, even the confirmation for higher here prices. We took it from there and we moved higher. Even later, we took the confirmation for bullish here because you enter the zone of a wave 3. And here we go. You just reach the 1.27 minimum target taken from the 1 to the 2 to the 3 here. By taking this fib level, you have finished here a wave 3. You can count it a wave 3. However, this is your bullish scenario, of course, and you want to be corrective in wave 4 and continuation for higher in wave 5. But be careful from the 1.38 here, taken also from this potential wave A, which is this one. After finishing here your leading diagonal, what if you are in a wave A, you are in 3 waves towards the upside, and kind of like a W, X, and a Y can be as well, and hitting perfectly here the 1.38 where we just dropped from it right now, and moving back down to a wave C. Meaning, what if the leading diagonal as a wave 1 is still in play, and you have A, B, and a C wave 2 here to still be finishing over there. So also we gotta be careful with it. Now, signal how to make sure that we are not in this scenario, simply taking the high one more time again. Once you take the high, that means you're moving decisively here. You're moving for a 1.618, which is much more secure target even for a wave 3. However, also one more thing I would like to mention regarding this wave 5, which I don't really like it. Yeah, so it looks like a 1-2 here, probably even 1-2, 1-2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 4 did not took the zone 1, meaning safe wave 3, and then 4 and a 5. So still safe, but this impulse looks a little bit weird, and it looks a little bit kind of like corrective. But still, of course, an impulse, because no invalidation was given. And if this is a wave 3 here, okay, wave 3 is still longer than wave 1. No invalidation, and also wave 3 mainly is longer than wave 1 and wave 5. So everything is fine, but still can be read as W, X, and a Y. So yeah, just to be careful about it. So these are the update for Solana. I think to make sure that we are still bullish here, you want simply to take the high, moving for higher simply. All right. If we are bearish, we continue simply down. All right. So if we don't take the high again, that means, of course, we are moving downward, guys. Injective on 2 hours chart. Let's see injective as well, showing nice signals and price action. We see here a potential, of course, wave 1. After this wave 1, you have double 1-2, sorry. Double 1-2 here in 1-2, 1, and another wave 2 here in W, X, and a Y, failing even to take the low. We see after it, of course, here a potential 1-2 and several 1-2s. Let me zoom in. And that because, of course, you broke here any kind of diagonal, by the way. If we had the last option here for injective to be downward in a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, your wave 4 has to be in this area and also below the 0.618. We see the wave 4, of course, exceeding even the trend line taken, of course, from the lows here as parallel, broken as even signal confirmation for higher. Now you see, of course, triple 1-2s. We see a wave 3. Definitely this is a wave 4. You're seeking after 5, 4, 5, of course, continuation toward the upside. In case we are still bullish here, be careful from invalidation of bullish in any case by taking this zone, which is I'm gonna remove this, no need anymore. So which is of course at 13.21. Meaning if the price dive inside this zone, it's not allowed to interfere with the zone. One is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, meaning bearish. Okay, so we gotta be careful, of course, with this one. Why I'm mentioning this? Because this still can be also something corrective. It can be, of course, a leading diagonal wave 1. It can be even wave A, B, and a C, and moving down. Okay, so very likely can be as well. Unless also you can be here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a leading diagonal as well, I would say. So not necessarily to be several 1, 2s. It can be, of course, a possible leading diagonal, meaning, of course, a wave 4, 5, 4, and a 5, only 2. Okay. But we're going to see this in the price action later on. Okay. It can be triple 1, 2s, small. Yep, so that was it for Injected, Solana, and Ethereum. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.